Welcome, everybody, to the Fanmouth Daily Fantasy Baseball Breakdown for Thursday, June the 26th. Big shout out to Team USA taking on Germany today, but before we do that, let's talk a little fantasy baseball. I'm Joe Marsh. I'll be covering the games by myself. Got a small slate. We're talking about the 7 o'clock and later Eastern start time games, so we'll jump right into it. Pitching is kind of interesting tonight. I don't love a ton of the options. I think you do need to spend a bit at pitcher because I don't see much in the lower tier. For me, Cole Hamels is the top option. He's given up 3 earned runs total over his last 5 starts. He's pitching great right now. Over that span, he's averaging 8 strikeouts per game. He's facing the Marlins at a pretty good time. They're very cold right now. The month of June, they're leading the league in Ks. They're 25th in hitting, 28th in home runs. So you have a very hot pitcher against a very cold offense. I think that's definitely the move to make. Wainwright's a good play as well. Only allowed 3 earned runs over his last 3 starts. He's pitched very well on the road with a 150 ERA, 197 batting average against. The Dodgers haven't been great in June either, and they're a bit beat up. Hanley Ramirez hasn't been playing. They had a few guys out of the lineup, so I think Wainwright's actually a pretty solid play tonight. Other than that, there's a lot of good offensive plays, so I was looking to save a bit at pitcher. From the lower price, I like Tom Kohler a bit, but with Hamels as my top play, I really don't want two pitchers opposing each other. Vance Worley's probably the next best option down there, but that's pretty risky for me, so I'm probably going to stay with the higher price guys and save offensively where I can. Catcher, I'm going to target Brewers today against Christian Friedrich, a guy with a career ERA over 6, career batting average against over 3. He's made 1 start this year. He gave up 9 runs. That was his first start since 2012. Brewers have a lot of good hitters. I think Lucroy is a great play, hitting 349 in the month of June. Only 4 hitless games in June, hitting 324 against lefties. So he's just a real standout play for me at catcher. Now, first base is very tough because there are several really good plays. My top play is Encarnacion. Blue Jays are at home, which is a great place to start them, facing a weak righty, who has a 4.70 ERA on the road. He's equally bad against righties and lefties, so I think you can get either of them in the game. Encarnacion has 12 hits his last 7 games, 4 home runs over that time. A lot of power against righties, 20 home runs, hits very well at home. I like Abreu in that game as well. You also have to consider Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez for utility spot. I like Adam Lind if you want to go cheaper at first base. Those guys are all more expensive options. Hitting 327 the month of June, hitting 366 with all 4 of his home runs coming off of righties. Very crowded space at first. I think I'm going to, spend at least on one of those guys, probably look to save a lot of money elsewhere where I can so I can afford to have those guys because, again, I've got expensive pitchers as well. Second base is not very solid today. This would be a great spot to use Jeanette. He's on fire, but there's a lefty, pitching for Colorado, so that's not a good option. Beckham is a solid play against Happ. Happ's given up a 301 batting average to righties, and Beckham is hitting 373 against lefties. But I'm probably going to save a bit more money than that. I think second base today will be a good spot to check the lineups, see who's hitting in a good spot, and stick them in. Third base, again, going with the Brewers. Aramis Ramirez continues to hit hot. 11 hits and 2 homers in his last 7 games. He's hitting 326, 5 home runs, and 43 at-bats against lefties. That's a little over a home run every 9 at-bats. That's a great number. I think he's an outstanding play. And then shortstop today for me is going to be similar to second. I don't think there are a lot of great options. Reyes is a good play, hitting 308 at home. He's hit all of his home runs off of right-handers. But again, I'm probably going to take the same approach at short that I do at second. Look for somebody who's cheap, hitting near the top of the lineup. Spend money at first base and pitcher, maybe a bit in the outfield. But you know what? I found some cheap outfielders as well moving over there. Absolute must start of the day, JD Martinez. Another home run last night. 6 in the month of June. He's right in the middle of a 14-game hitting streak, and he's still very cheap. So I would start my lineup by putting him in. He's the top play, value-wise, if you factor in his price. A couple other cheap guys. Gregory Polanco, still cheap. Hitting 383 against righties. I think he's an outstanding play. Interesting way you can go if you're a BVP person is Colvin of the Giants. He's dirt cheap. That will help you get a lot of other guys into your lineup. He has 4 home runs in 19 at-bats against Leak, hitting 368 against him. So, and he's down very close to the bottom of the pricing chart. If you want to spend in the outfield, I would suggest either your Blue Jays, Melky Cabrera, check the lineup to see if Bautista's in there, or you can always go with the high-priced Brewers. You can go Gomez, you can go Davis, you can go Braun, probably in that order: Gomez, Davis, Braun. And that pretty much wraps it up. So that's what we're going to do today. So spend a bit at pitcher. Hamels and Wainwright are very solid options. Spend a bit at first base. Again, a lot of good options. Encarnacion for me is the top guy. Also like Abreu, Cabrera, Martinez, and Lind, all to be considered for your utility spot. Second and short, I'm going to probably end up punting them. Just grab somebody who's hitting near the top of the lineup that's got a good matchup. And then in the outfield, a couple places, a couple ways you can go. Those are some good cheap options. Obviously, JD Martinez is the real standout for me today. But Polanco's good. Otherwise, grab a couple Blue Jays or Brewers. Thanks for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow with Dave. In the meantime, you can check my rankings at blog.fanmouth.com or follow us on Twitter at PlayFanmouth. Thank you very much.